Paris is one of the world's greatest cities, but it can also be one of the most exhausting to explore. Endless stairs, hard pavements, massive queues, and the pressure to keep up. Most guides tell you what to see, not the physical cost of how you see it. Most travelers don't get exhausted because of their age or their fitness. They get exhausted because of preventable mistakes, and some of those mistakes happen before you've even left your hotel room. Here are the 8 biggest mistakes that leave visitors exhausted in Paris and how to avoid every single one of them. I'm Andrew, and welcome back to Easy Travel with Andrew. Let's make sure you come home with incredible memories, not aching feet. Part 1. The wrong base camp trap. Here's a mistake that happens weeks before you land in Paris, and it can quietly undo everything else. Picking the wrong hotel. Paris is full of gorgeous old buildings built long before anyone thought about elevators. Where a lift's been squeezed in, it's often barely big enough for one person and a bag, and some smaller hotels have none at all. Call ahead and ask, how large is the lift? And does it reach your room without extra steps? Modern hotels and apart hotels, such as citadines, are often the safer bet. And pick your neighbourhood based on nearby bus routes, not just how central it looks. Get your base camp right, and every single day after, it gets easier. And once you've picked the right place to sleep, the next mistake is all about how you get around during the day. Part 2. The Metro Default Trap. The single biggest mistake first-time visitors make is assuming the metro is always the best way to get around. It's fast, but it's physically demanding. Only a small minority of stations are fully step-free, so almost every journey involves stairs and long corridors. At huge interchanges like Charlotte-Le-Halles, the largest underground station in the world, half a mile of walking underground isn't unusual before you even reach your platform. I've seen visitors spend so much energy getting to an attraction that by the time they arrive, they're already ready for a coffee. Stop defaulting to the metro. Buses like lines 69, 72, and 42 are far more comfortable, low floor, priority seating, and you stay above ground with beautiful views for the same fare. They do get busy at rush hour, so travel outside the busiest times where you can. Line 14 is your easiest metro station. It's full lift access, it's air conditioned, and it now reaches Orly Airport. Check RATP's live elevator status before you set off, and the G7 Access offers wheelchair accessible taxis you can book ahead, as you can see on the app on screen now. And speaking of planning your day, the next mistake catches almost everyone out. Part 3. Marathon Sightseeing Syndrome. Another huge energy trap is squeezing 2 or 3 major attractions into a single day. Pairing the Louvre with the Eiffel Tower, then a long evening walk, is a recipe for burnout by day 3. When you rush from landmark to landmark, you aren't experiencing Paris, you're surviving it. Adopt one rule: one major attraction per day. Visit the Musée d'Orsay in the morning while your legs are fresh, enjoy a long lunch, spend the afternoon in the Luxembourg Gardens, and finish with a gentle Seine cruise. You'll still see plenty of Paris, you'll just enjoy every minute more. Protect that daily energy, and day 5 feels almost as good as day 1. Part 4. Waiting until you're exhausted to rest. Most travellers push through their fatigue. We'll just walk one more block. By the time your legs ache, your body's working harder than it needs to, and recovery takes far longer. Take a preventative rest, not a recovery rest. Sit down before you feel tired, every 30 to 45 minutes, on a shaded bench or somewhere peaceful. They're always spotted along central Paris. At larger museums, don't hesitate to ask about folding cane seats or lone wheelchairs. Plan your bathroom stops the same way. Paris has 400 plus free accessible public toilets near most landmarks, findable by simply searching public toilet on Google Maps. I've watched visitors emerge from the metro already exhausted before they've even reached the attraction. Don't let that one be you. The next mistake is one that quietly drains your energy without you even realizing it. Part 5. standing in concrete queues. If you've made every mistake so far, don't worry, the next one is probably the biggest energy drain of them all. One of the biggest surprises for first-time visitors is just how much standing around Paris involves. And standing still on a hard pavement is actually more tiring than walking steadily. Thousands of visitors spend hours outside the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, or Notre Dame simply because they arrived without a reservation. Make sure you book official timed entry tickets in advance on the various websites. Instead of queuing for an hour or two, you'll often be inside within minutes. And here's something many don't realize. With disability documentation, attractions like the Louvre, Versailles, and Musée d'Orsay often free admission and priority access for you and a companion is available. One exception, the Eiffel Tower only offers a reduced rate and its top isn't wheelchair accessible at all, so don't think about going up to the summit if you need a wheelchair. Look for the entry priority sign or the blue wheelchair symbol. That's almost always the queue skip line. In many cases, staff may not ask to see documentation if your mobility needs are obvious, but I'd always carry one just in case. Part 6. Ignoring the terrain and footwear traps. Paris is famous for its historic charm, but that charm comes with cobblestones, gravel paths, and steep slopes. Montmartre is the best example. Climbing from the bottom on foot can leave you drained within 20 minutes. Let transport do the climbing. Take the Montmartre funicular or catch bus number 40 almost to the top. And don't underestimate good footwear. Supportive, cushioned shoes make a huge difference over a week. If you're having a low energy day, don't be afraid to change your plans. Paris rewards slowing down. And speaking of low energy days, there's one cause of them that's becoming more common every year, and most guides don't mention it at all, so here it is. Part 7. Underestimating the heat. Here's a mistake that's becoming more common every year, especially with the heat waves we are seeing around the globe. Underestimating the Paris heat. Recent summers have brought back-to-back heat waves hitting harder than you'd expect this far north. Most people assume the metro offers a break from the sun. It doesn't always. Only a handful of lines have proper cooling, and the rest can feel like a furnace on the hottest days. Flip your schedule the way the locals do. Sightsee outdoors early in the morning and stay somewhere air-conditioned through the hottest part of the afternoon. Heat exhaustion sneaks up on everyone, but faster when you're already managing mobility issues. Build in the shade and the cool, and the rest of this list gets easier to follow. And once you've beaten the heat, there's one last mistake, and it happens right at the end of the day. Part 8. Rushing out with the exit herd. The final stamina drain happens at the end of the day. When a museum closes, a cruise docks, or a show finishes, thousands of people head for the exits at the same time, and suddenly you're shuffling through crowded pavements when you're already at your most tired. Don't follow the herd. Find a nearby bench, sit back, and take 15 or 20 minutes while everyone else rushes off. It's also the perfect moment to use the toilets or grab a drink. By the time you are ready to leave, the crowds have largely disappeared, and your journey home will be far less stressful. My final honest advice. I've seen plenty of visitors reach day 3 of their holiday only to realize they are too tired to enjoy the places they'd been looking forward to for months. The good news, it doesn't have to be that way. Slowing down isn't a compromise. It's one of the biggest secrets to a better holiday. You don't need to see every painting in the Louvre or climb every staircase in Montmartre. Pick the right base, choose buses over the metro, do one attraction a day, rest before you're exhausted, and work around the heat. And a grueling marathon becomes a relaxing, memorable holiday. Travel shouldn't stop as we get older. We simply learn to travel smarter. If this guide helped you to plan a more comfortable trip to Paris, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe to my channel, Easy Travel with Andrew. It really does help me. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.